Hey everybody, it's your pal Mike Zombie, and this week we're going to talk about Biozombie from 1998, a good film out of Hong Kong that I think you'll like. All right, folks, have a good week. See you next week. If I could just narrow my reviews down to 13 seconds, it'd be easier for everyone to take, I'm sure. Biozombie is a film out of Hong Kong that I'd heard of but had not seen yet, and I finally saw it last night. And I really did like this film. The consensus on the internet that I've read on the old intertubes is pretty accurate. It's as if we've taken the cast of Mallrats, put it in the Dawn of the Dead, and added some special effects and gore from Dead Alive, and brought in just enough of a Jackie Chan inventive fighting style to really make this an entertaining film. This was originally in Cantonese, but they have re-released it at some point in the past with English voiceover. But I would have watched it anyway. It was visually entertaining enough that I would have watched even if I didn't understand. Woody and Crazy B, well, I guess here it says his name on IMDb is Woody Invincible. I didn't catch the Invincible part, but I know his name was Woody, and his sidekick, Crazy, run a VCD shop in it's like a 2-level mall. Small mall, not what we would consider to be a mall like here in America, like the Mall of America. No, it's not that size. We're talking strip mall size, 2-level, with a parking garage attached. They run a VCD shop there where they're just pirating movies like crazy. And they're a couple of slackers, but they're entertaining. Woody seems to be the strongest out of the two. And Crazy B, is kind of like the tag-along guy. And Crazy's saying, you know what, it's May 9th. And Woody's like, yeah, what's with that? Yeah, it's May 9th. Yesterday you said it was May 8th, and before that May 7th. Yeah, I can count. Thanks. It's obvious to us that Crazy's got something going on as far as his dates are concerned. We don't think he's the Chinese Rain Man or anything, but something's up. And Woody seems kind of oblivious. Well, they're walking around this mall, and they're like, hey, how's it going? What's going on, ladies? And they're talking to all the ladies as they go along. And every single woman in this place seems really uninterested, but still seems willing to fuck with them and give them a hard time anyway. And eventually they bump into Jelly and Rolls. yeah, I know. These are a couple of very, very pretty young women. Jelly's got a bit of a confidence issue because Rolls is just so incredibly pretty. I mean, Rolls really, really is a beautiful woman. They both are, don't get me wrong, but it's obvious the way they did the hair and makeup that Rolls is supposed to be just a little bit prettier. And that's, of course, to the detriment of Jelly's self-esteem. But, they're both swell lookers. How's that for taking it back to 1920? They're swell lookers. Anyway. So, of course, Woody and Crazy run into them and just totally shine them off. I mean, women want nothing to do with them. And Woody's like, we should go out. Rolls tries to get Woody to sign up for some of her facial services she does. She does cosmetology, apparently. And Woody's like, why the fuck would I want to have anything to do with that? I'm a guy. They split and go to pick up their boss's car because they run the VCD shop, but it's not. I was unclear if it was theirs because they keep getting a phone call from their boss who never makes an appearance. And it does seem as if these guys are doing the work anyway. Because that's what slackers do. They go to movie theaters, they record the films and make VCDs. Which, as a guy who's bought VCDs before, long ago, folks, before I just started learning about BitTorrent, I bought myself VCDs on occasion. I didn't go to Hong Kong to do it, fortunately. Someone did the work for me and brought them here. So I was kind of laughing anyway, because this is like a weird culture that I kind of identified with, this subculture of pirating films. So they go to pick up their boss's car, which is a fairly old Jaguar. And they had this exchange with the mechanics because they're fucking with this guy. Because these guys, Woody and Crazy, like to start shit. They like to start shit and have no talent to back it up. They have no fighting ability that we can find. They have no guts. They have no intestinal fortitude. They kind of talk shit. I'll kick your fucking ass. And then if someone goes to fight them, they're like, well, I don't see why we just don't work this out by talking, And they're very good at misdirection. One will point at the other and say one fact, the other guy will go back at him, and the blame goes back and forth so quickly that everybody they run into kind of doesn't quite know who to pin down and punch. So the dialogue, I like the dialogue in this film. And considering that it was written in Cantonese and had to be converted over. I'm fairly sure this was written intelligently twice, because not everything translates perfectly. And this was still a very entertaining film. And like I said, I did enjoy it very much. So they almost cause a huge brawl at the mechanic shop. They back down. They almost get run over on the way out. I think it's a Mercedes. It almost runs them down. And they're like, what the fuck? Watch out, asshole. And we cut to night where this Mercedes pulls into a warehouse. And there's an exchange between a member of the military, a few other people, and Iraqis. And the Iraqis have made, apparently, a bioweapon that turns people into zombies. And with all today's technology, precautions, and safety, they've decided to hide it in a bottle, which is like a soft drink bottle. Which made no sense. That's the part where I went, what? And in their demonstration on how well this works, a zombie gets loose, bites the shit out of everybody. One gentleman runs off with this bottle of zombie juice in his hands into the forest, I guess. Runs across the highway, gets run over by Woody and Crazy as they're returning this car, and it fucks the whole front of this car up. And do a bit of slapstick interaction with the local police and a bit of Weekend at Bernie's. They managed to make sure nobody knows that they killed this guy. But he's not really dead. They think he is, but he's not. And then he says soft drinks. Oh, so they give him some of the soft drink, which is really the zombie juice. So now we're guaranteed he's coming back. They put him in the trunk of the car, and they just forget about him. So they go back to the mall, and they hear noises in the trunk. So they pop the trunk, and sure enough, it's full of a whole bunch of shit. And the zombie comes out, and they kind of beat it up, and they run in. And here's where the chaos begins. And the movie kind of splits here, because they realize that they have to come up with money to fix their boss's car. They hit this guy, and then they crashed it coming into the mall, so the front end's all jacked up. And they have to raise money to get it fixed. So the movie, like I said, splits a bit here as to they're trying to come up with money and the hijinks they're pulling, and the zombies, as we're going to find out, take over the mall, which of course would bring us to the Dawn of the Dead portion. So now we bring in Kui. Kui is an asshole. He's a little older than them. He runs a cell phone shop, and his only real job in this movie is to pretend to be a hard ass, to give them a hard time, and to talk a lot of shit to his wife, who's only listed, I believe, as Mrs. Kui. So very, very inventive. But she's very subservient. She doesn't want any problems, and he just tells her to shut up, and what does she know anyway? That's all he says to her. So Woody and Woody and Crazy, because he just calls him Crazy. Woody and Crazy sell the military guy's almost brand new, horrible yellow phone to this guy, and he gives him a dirt cheap price, and he puts it in the display case with the rest of his shitty phones. And they're just, what are we going to do? We don't have enough money. So Woody sees Rolls walk into the bathroom, and he's like, let's mug her. So they sneak in and just do a real haphazard mugging on her, and she's got no money. B pulls out her purse and looks through her wallet, and he mouths, there's nothing in here. A couple of bills, but they're very small denomination, and they're like, oh my God, why did we even do this? Woody pulls off her new diamond ring, and they run out, and they run to the VCD shop, which is like 2 doors down, and they go inside and act like nothing's going on. And she comes running into the VCD shop, and she's like, you need to help me, I've just been mugged, and they took my diamond ring, and I'll pay you if you help me find it. And he's like, oh, all right, this is kind of uncomfortable, I just mugged you, you don't know it was me. And he agrees, yeah, I'll help you find your stuff. I'll help you find the guys that did it. And she really thinks it was him, but she doesn't know who else to ask for help, because he is kind of a bad guy, because he's like the bad slacker. But she knows that she can control him because she is very, very pretty, and he really wants to go out with her. They go to a sushi place in the mall where sushi guy, I believe his name was Loy. Again, this is a movie in one language converted to another language, and they refer to him as like Sushi Boy or something like that. But his name, I believe, on IMDb is Emotion Chung. I don't know. That just, yeah, change his name to Emotion Chung. If he's the right one. The sushi guy is a nerd, and he's very much in love with Rolls, and he'll do anything for her. He always gives her free food. He always gives her coupons, free beer, everything else. So Rolls takes Woody, Crazy, and Jelly to the sushi place. She's trying to woo him to go get her stuff, and the sushi kid is just freaking out. He's like, oh no, because he's always staring at her and just wanting her from afar, and just, you can see in his face that he's just with his big glasses and he looks like, okay, oh my God, Napoleon Dynamite if he was Chinese and a sushi chef, okay? That's what you'd have. And he's just staring and wanting her so bad, would do anything for her. And he's like, hey, I bought you a present. Can I give it to you later? And she's like, yeah. This is where shit gets out of control because the zombies are now coming into the mall. It's important to point out that there are zombies in two places, because I didn't remember this until the end of the film. We have zombies in the parking structure. The guy they brought in, which is becoming a zombie, he's going to bite parking lot attendant and everybody else. And we have the zombie people that were bit when the Iraqis were showing how well this works. They killed the main zombie, but a bunch of other people got bit. So there are people outside in the world, in China, that are zombified, though it's only a few. Luckily, they showed that this passes pretty fast. From a bite, we're talking 2 minutes, and you're back, and you're a zombie, which helps the film. So these guys are shit-tanked at the mall, but they're really only drunk for a couple of minutes. It was kind of funny how that happened. I mean, they're so drunk they're falling all over. After a zombie attack on Sushi Nerd in the restroom, they're sober again, stone sober. And the rest of the film switches from slacker film into Dawn of the Dead style film, where we're getting locked in this mall at the end of the day. Everybody here is in danger because the zombies are here with us. And it's not like we can just walk out, because we have the bottom floor, the upper floor, and then I guess somewhere in that or above that is the control area, the administration area, where all the controls are for the mall as far as gates and elevators and parking garage doors and things such as this. I know I'm really not doing this movie justice because I just woke up. And I honestly just watched the last 15 minutes before I started this, so it's kind of fresh in my mind, so I thought I'd throw this out real quick. So everybody has to band together because all the security staff are now zombies. There were police in the mall that are now zombies. The people are outnumbered. The survivors apparently are outnumbered. Now, even though Woody and Crazy don't get along with Kui, they have to band together with him and his wife. And Rolls, over a brief few scenes, you can tell she's falling for Woody, which is a bad idea because he's a slacker that can't fight, he mugged her, and she doesn't quite know it for sure, and stole her ring because he wanted to pay for his boss's car to be repaired. So he's probably not the best guy for her. They're all together, and they're running around from place to place to place. And they get attacked in one place, they run to the next. They get attacked there, they move on to the next. Now they're trying to figure out, what the fuck are we going to do? We have to get out of the mall, and it's all locked down. So we got to go upstairs, we got to get everything turned on, we got to get the gates open. And of course, it's going to be full of zombies the whole way. This is in the middle of Kui trying to sacrifice everybody else to save himself because he's in a fucking panic. He's terrified. And like in the elevator scene, they're about to go down and zombies show up, so he shoves Jelly out, shoves her out, whoof, just gives her a push, and the doors close, and everybody starts to punch him, and they try to get back, and she's off and running. And one thing I will say about this film is they don't do much in the way of trying to make it touching when somebody dies. They didn't write it too heavy that way, because like a few minutes after that, we see Jelly's being bit real bad, and we're like, oh. And Crazy runs up with a knife and starts fucking up the zombies. He's like telling her, go, 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 and he gets bit. And it's a very brief pause of, yeah, we're going to lose him. But he was like one of our heroes. Because our slacker hero, our slacker heroes are now our slacker heroes. See how I turned that around? Not really. Now they're the guys that we kind of liked before because they were funny, but now they're actually fighting and kicking ass because they have to. Now they're defending the love interests. And Crazy gets bit, and Woody runs up with Rolls, and the groups have now separated. Kui's run off. His wife ran off too because she realized he was just an asshole that was willing to kill everybody to save himself. And the group is fractured again. Well, the good news is Mrs. Kui and Kui both die together because he finally answers the fucking call as his wife is being attacked by zombies. He's hiding behind a Coke machine. And I'm really surprised how much branding is over in Chinese malls. I mean, everything that I could see on those signs in Hong Kong said it. They had the English translation there too. So, I mean, I guess I didn't really imagine how big tourism must be there. But it really is. He runs out to save her because she's getting attacked. They both die. We're like, yay. Not so much for her, but for him because he was a prick. The cast we really care about is now upstairs in the administration office, trying to get everything open so they can leave. Crazy's dying. Like I said, it only takes a couple minutes for this shit to fully convert you. And Woody doesn't know what to do. He's kind of holding him. He's like, shit, because he's like, I'm cold. So he's kind of holding him. He says, Rolls, help me. He's cold. So Rolls comes up from behind, and she's wearing a little shirt with no bra, which is always a good thing. And she's hugging him on the other side. And through his pain and his almost death growl, Crazy looks at Woody and says, Woody, Rolls has really nice tits. And I'm like, what? So, and there's another 4 or 5 references to how beautiful she is as she's next to him. And she really was. So we know he's going to die, and he does very quickly. And Woody and Rolls now have to fight their way out. They get down to the parking structure, and they open the door. And this is where it didn't make a lot of sense, because, aside from a lot of this, there's zombies everywhere in this parking garage, and it's closed, so nobody could get in or out. And there are all kinds of zombies in there that shouldn't have been there, because there was just a very handful of people were left in the mall, most of which was, police and security guards. So the fact there were like 20 zombies downstairs in the garage made no sense, but that's okay. And I was thinking maybe it was Cooey and Mrs. Cooey. I didn't see them anywhere in there. As Woody and Rolls fight their way out, and they're fighting and slashing and punching and kicking. And briefly, they pause as Woody, somebody puts his hand on Woody's shoulder, and you turn, and it's Crazy, and he looks normal. And there's this weird pause of, are you okay? Wait a minute, is this a dream? And then Woody just takes off, and they don't really fully flesh out if that was Crazy or not. It was kind of a disjointed scene. I was hoping that it was going to be Crazy, they would be a zombie, and they would have to have some kind of special buddy fight at the end, but they didn't. Rolls and Woody get in the Jaguar and take off, and they are about to go up this ramp that leads to a closed gate, and they're going to ram it, but Sushi Boy steps in front. And I did skip over the fact that Sushi Boy, though he is a zombie, is not malicious. He still is very much in love with Rolls, and he was still giving her presents as a zombie and like wanting her to open it, wanted to see her happy. So for some reason, he's not a full zombie. He very much cares about her. And he's in front of the gate, and Woody's like, ram it. And she's like, no, I can't. He's too sweet. The Sushi Boy zombie sees what's going on and turns and starts to use his own just arms to push the gate up. He's trying to set her free. He gets the gate up, the car stalls, and Sushi Boy realizes the car's starting to be overtaken by zombies, and he walks down, and Rolls and Woody are fighting zombies from inside the car, and Sushi Boy goes to the back and starts fighting them off there and pushes the car fast enough for them to bump start it, though it wasn't a stick. So I don't know if maybe whoever wrote it or directed it realized that for a manual that you can't push start an automatic transmission car. But okay. But anyway, small details, I guess it don't matter. So they get out, they're free, and the first place they go is to a gas station. Woody gets out, and he has the knife that Crazy carried on him. A decent-sized butcher knife, and he gets out, and he's walking around. And he walks up to the door, and it's locked. And the phone line, and he's watching the television inside the store, and the message says, stay in a safe place, zombies are everywhere. And this is on, like, the news. And stay away from the zombies, stay in a safe place, and do not drink any soft drinks, because they may be contaminated with this zombie-making juice. And Woody turns and sees that Rolls is in the car, and she's thirsty, so she opens the glove box and pulls out the rest of this beverage and is drinking it. And he walks over, and he knows what's up. And she says, what's going on? Did you call anybody for help? And he just takes the soft drink and drinks the rest of it himself. So they are giving up. She's not, because she doesn't know, but he does. The beauty of this is we know that he's never, ever going to find somebody as pretty as Rolls. And she loves him now, and he loves her. And he's never going to have that again, because he's a slacker and an idiot, and he's just a bullshit artist. So I think it was kind of fitting that he wanted to die with her. And they fade out. This movie was fun. It was fast-paced. It had relatable characters, because we've known these guys. Maybe we've been some of these guys from time to time. Biozombie, 1998. Check it out. I don't know if it's on Netflix. You can find it online. But more importantly, get it in VCD. That'd be great. If you can get a VCD of this. Is it wrong to download a movie that's the premise is based on people that illegally copy movies? That's a point to ponder, I guess. Anyways, have a great weekend, folks. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya.